I was working the graveyard shift when the hospital intercom blared my name. My wife, my brother, and my son were wheeled in, all unconscious. I rushed toward them, heart pounding, but a doctor gently blocked my path. "You can't see them yet," he murmured. My hands shook as I demanded, "Why not?" His gaze dropped and he whispered, "The police will clarify everything when they get here." Chapter 1. A midnight unraveled asterisk. The hospital's fluorescent lights seemed to hum louder at 2 a.m. maybe. It was the eerie quiet of the empty halls or the exhaustion sinking into my bones after 8 grueling hours in the trauma unit. Night shifts always carried the heaviest sorrows, but nothing could have braced me for what came next. "Dr. Ethan Moore, report to Emergency Bay 3 immediately. Code red, multiple victims, ambulance arriving in 2 minutes." I was scribbling notes on a patient's file when the call came. Dropping my pen, I dashed down the corridor, my coat flapping behind me. The trauma bay was a whirlwind of nurses and equipment as paramedics burst through the doors with 3 stretchers. 3 motionless figures, each one chillingly familiar. I stopped dead. This can't be real. The first stretcher carried my wife, Lily, her dark hair streaked with blood. The second held my younger brother, Noah, his face swollen, a jagged cut across his forehead. The third was my son, Jack. My legs nearly gave out. "Jack," I shouted, lunging forward, but a firm hand stopped me. Dr. Torres, the attending physician. "You can't go in there," he said softly. I glared at him, chest heaving. "That's my family, my wife, my brother, my son. Let me pass." He didn't budge. Glancing around cautiously, he leaned closer and whispered, "You can't see them yet. The police will explain when they arrive." The world seemed to pause. Sirens wailed outside, nurses moved in a blur, but for me sound faded. "What do you mean?" I whispered. "Why the police?" His eyes avoided mine and dread settled in my gut. This wasn't just a crash. Something was terribly wrong. Chapter 2, Secrets and Wounds. 20 minutes later, 2 plainclothes officers arrived, their faces unreadable. While my colleagues fought to save Lily, Noah, and Jack, I stood frozen by the nurse's station, arms crossed, fists clenched, mind racing. I hadn't been allowed near the trauma room, not even to check on my son. "Jack's tough," I told myself. "He's only 16. He'll pull through." But Dr. Torres' fleeting glance, hesitant, almost guilty, felt like more than professional concern. Officer Harris approached, notepad in hand. "Dr. Moore, we need to speak privately." I led them to the break room and shut the door. "What happened?" I demanded. He exchanged a look with his partner before speaking. At approximately 1:15 a.m., a vehicle registered to Lily Moore was found smashed into a guardrail on County Road 9. My breath hitched. "That's miles from our house." He nodded. "The airbags deployed. All 3 occupants were unconscious. Your son was in the back." "Who was driving?" I pressed. Another glance between them. Harris paused. "We're still investigating. Evidence suggests your brother may have been at the wheel, no seatbelt marks, and the driver's airbag didn't deploy." He hesitated. "We also found open wine bottles, several glasses, and a motel keycard in the front seat." I blinked, stunned. "They were drinking?" I asked. "Yes," he replied. I shook my head. "Noah hasn't touched alcohol since his DUI years ago. And Lily, she rarely drank. Why was Jack even in the car at that hour?" My voice broke. "Why were my wife and brother together, with my son, on a remote road?" "With wine." Harris didn't respond. Instead, he pulled a plastic bag from his pocket containing a phone, Lily's. "It wasn't locked when we found it," he said. "I need to show you something, Dr. Moore. Prepare yourself." He opened the gallery and held up the screen. It was a selfie, Lily in a motel mirror, wearing only a robe, Noah's arms around her, kissing her shoulder. The timestamp read 12:48 a.m., 27 minutes before the crash. I stumbled back, the wall steadying me. "No," I whispered. "They wouldn't." Harris's voice softened. "I'm sorry." My legs buckled. This wasn't a workplace fling or a hidden online affair. This was my wife and my brother, and they'd dragged my son into their mess. Maybe Jack had discovered them. Maybe he'd confronted them. The officer's hand rested on my shoulder. "There's more," he said quietly. But I was already lost, the image seared into my mind, wondering how long I'd shared a bed with a woman capable of this. Chapter 3. What my son recalled asterisk, the ICU was silent. Jack had stabilized and was moved to a private room, while Lily and Noah remained critical, sedated. I hadn't seen them, and I didn't want to. Their unconsciousness felt like a small reprieve. If I faced them, I didn't know what I'd say or do, but Jack was awake. A nurse found me pacing outside the trauma wing. "Doctor Moore, he's conscious. He's asking for you." My heart surged and sank. I entered his room quietly. He looked pale, lips dry, a bandage above his brow, but his eyes were still my son's, sharp, searching, holding something unsaid. "Dad," he croaked. I grabbed his hand. "I'm here, Jack, you're safe." He glanced around, disoriented, as if piecing together a bad dream. What happened?" he asked. I chose my words carefully. "You were in a car accident with your mom and Noah." His eyes narrowed. "I remember." His voice faltered, memories flickering. "We were driving, I was shouting." "Shouting about what?" I asked gently. He blinked, then continued, voice trembling. "They were kissing in the front seat. I saw it." My stomach twisted. "Mom said we were just picking something up from Uncle Noah's, but they stopped at a motel. She left me in the car for almost an hour. I thought she was just talking to him, but..." He looked away, ashamed. "I got out. I looked through the window. They were together." Rage and grief churned inside me. "I confronted them," Jack went on. "I yelled, called her disgusting. She laughed, said I didn't get grown-up love. Noah tried to calm me, but I told him he wasn't my uncle anymore." His jaw shook. "Mom said we'd talk it out as a family. She made me get back in the car, said she was sorry I found out like that. Then they started drinking. I was crying in the back and they were drinking, acting like I wasn't there." He swallowed hard. "I begged her to stop driving. She wouldn't. Noah offered, but she laughed and said, 'We're all a wreck tonight, might as well roll with it.' The last thing I remember is headlights, something coming fast, then nothing." I sat in stunned silence. They hadn't just betrayed me. They dragged my son into their reckless, drunken affair, shattering his trust and risking his life. This wasn't just cheating. It was neglect, endangerment, a violation. I stood, brushing Jack's hair back. "You're safe now," I told him. Then I walked out, resolve hardening, a fire in my veins. I had the truth, I had proof, and I had nothing left to lose. Chapter 4. The fight begins. By morning, I wasn't just a heartbroken husband and betrayed sibling. I was a man with a purpose. Jack's account, Lily's phone filled with incriminating photos and messages proving months of deceit, and hospital records showing both Lily and Noah's blood alcohol levels above the legal limit, turned this into more than a personal betrayal. It was a crime. In my office, blinds drawn, I called a trusted friend. "Mark, it's Ethan. I need your help, big time." Mark, a sharp family lawyer, listened as I laid out the details. After a pause, he asked, "Divorce?" "Yes," I said. "Immediate, emergency filing, and criminal charges." Another pause. "We start today." By noon, we'd filed for divorce and a temporary restraining order to keep Lily away from Jack and me. By evening, I'd given Officer Harris all the digital evidence, and he confirmed the DA would likely pursue charges for child endangerment and DUI with a minor present. Then, the final move. I sent an anonymous tip with photos to the hospital's ethics board, where Lily worked as a senior therapist, counseling vulnerable clients, including teens. The irony was sickening. That night, I stood outside Noah's ICU room. He was still unconscious, tethered to machines. I stared through the glass at the brother who once shielded me from trouble, who toasted at my wedding, now reduced to this. A man who'd thrown it all away for a selfish affair with my wife. Betrayal isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's your own kin stealing kisses behind your back. Later, Lily's friend Sarah called. "Ethan, she's awake. She's panicking. She tried calling you, but she's blocked. She says it was a mistake, that it wasn't meant to go this far." I almost laughed. "She drove drunk with my son in the car, Sarah. That's as far as it gets." Sarah hesitated. "She thinks you're overreacting." I paused, then said, "Tell her I'm not angry anymore. I'm focused." And I hung up. This wasn't about rage now. It was about justice. Lily and Noah wouldn't just be exposed. They'd be done. Chapter 5. Their world crumbles. Within a week, the scandal exploded beyond our family. A leak from the hospital ethics board, maybe a nurse, maybe a clerk, ignited a media firestorm. Headlines screamed. "Esteemed therapist suspended amid DUI with minor, affair with husband's brother*." Photos from Lily's phone, anonymous quotes, and details of the police investigation fueled public outrage. I sat in my living room, the TV on mute, watching Lily's professional headshot flash beside words like disgrace and betrayal. Online, the comments were merciless. How does a teen counselor drive drunk with a kid in the car? If this were a man, he'd be locked up. She's lucky the boy survived. Hope the husband takes everything. A Reddit thread dissected the affair, with hundreds condemning the betrayal of both spouse and sibling. The internet didn't just judge her, it dismantled her. Noah's tech startup, where I'd once helped him gain a foothold, issued a statement. "Mr. Noah Moore is on indefinite leave pending investigation." Shareholders called it a PR disaster. Then came the court hearing. Divorce, custody, restraining order renewals, and an emergency guardianship review all in one day. Lily stood in the courtroom, pale, eyes hollow, searching for a lifeline. Noah was still hospitalized. Her lawyer looked exhausted. Mine was relentless. I submitted a hard drive of photos and videos from Lily's phone, printed messages plotting to keep Jack silent, Jack signed testimony verified by a court psychologist, and witness statements. A motel clerk, a nurse who overheard Lily say, "I thought he was asleep," and a colleague Lily had confided in about her secret passion with Noah. The judge reviewed the evidence in silence. Lily didn't weep, she broke. Her hands trembled, her posture collapsed. The judge's ruling was swift. Temporary sole custody awarded to the father. Full restraining order against Mrs. Moore extended. Emergency child endangerment review will proceed to criminal court. Lily whispered, "I've lost it all, haven't I?" I didn't look at her. I placed a hand on Jack's shoulder and said, "No, you gave it all away." Chapter 6. The final farewell 3 months later, Noah had sold his company shares and fled the state, shunned by family and industry alike. Lily's therapy license was revoked after the ethics board's review, her name erased from the registry, her career and reputation in ruins. She'd lost her son, her marriage, and her fantasy with Noah. One quiet Saturday, Jack and I were at home. He was sketching again, a spark returning to his eyes. My phone rang, an unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. "Hello." A pause, then, "Ethan." It was Lily, her voice raw, exhausted. "I didn't think you'd pick up." I stayed silent. "I know you hate me," she said, voice quivering, "but I want to explain." I let the silence stretch, then said icily, "Go ahead." She took a shaky breath. "Noah and I, it wasn't about you. I felt trapped, stuck in a rut, like life was suffocating me. He made me feel alive. While I worked nights to support us," I snapped. "I know," she whispered. "I ruined everything. But maybe if you'd been more present." I cut her off. "Don't blame me. You didn't just cheat. You endangered our son's life, driving drunk with him in the car, kissing my brother." Her voice broke. "I've lost it all, Ethan. I thought maybe one day we could talk. Maybe you could forgive me." I closed my eyes. "Forgiveness isn't mine to offer. It's for those you hurt. I'm here to protect Jack, not to ease your guilt." She sobbed. I didn't waver. "Goodbye, Lily." That night, Jack and I sat on the porch, staring at the stars. "Do people change?" he asked. I thought for a moment. "Yes," I said, "but some only do when they've lost everything they thought they couldn't." He nodded, content. I felt no anger, no need for revenge, only peace. The ones who torched my world now stood in their own ruins, while Jack and I walked toward a future free of deception. Was this justice deserved? Share your thoughts below. If this story moved you, pass it on and follow Sarah's Tales for more gripping stories of betrayal and retribution. Here, every secret faces its reckoning, and every lie casts a shadow. Stay vigilant, stay resilient, and stay tuned.